Oh yes, you're welcome back to African Colonization TV and Biafran History. Um, Today is 11th of March 2026. So we bring to you a very vital news that everyone needs to listen to. This issue of Sharia and the northern extremists that so much believe that the life is being given them, that life and death is being handed over to them by God. We don't really understand the type of human being those people are. If you say that you have a God and your God is fighting for you, you don't need to go and be fighting for your God. If you believe in your God and you say yes, you trust your God, you don't need to fight for him. He's the one that will be fighting for you. That is how God be. That is how God respond. This Sheikh Sani Issa Kano, sometimes they will be talking anyhow without knowing the consequences that is in their speech, without knowing what it is. I don't know if they still have people that advise them, and although they believe that everything is religion, everything is religion. According to him, he has now come out, start claiming and saying that in fact, anybody who insults their God, Allah, is likely sentenced, must be sentenced to death, even though if it is Donald Trump that did it, that do it, if they find him, that they must in fact sentence him. Trump versus Sharia. Northern Muslim warning over Allah spark global controversy. In fact, you need to listen to this video for you to understand everything that this our activist is saying, because he really say a lot of things this man Sheikh Sani Kano said. So as about to watch, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it to go around, let others see what is really going on in Nigeria.
Hello great people, I need you to pay close attention to the image of the man you are seeing on your screen right now. The man beside the image of the US President Donald Trump, his name is Sheikh Sani Issa Kano. If there's one person that Nigerians should be telling rest in peace in advance, then it is no other than this Sheikh Sani Issa Kano, because he threatened the US President Donald Trump. What did he say? What is the level of his threat? I will read it to you in a moment, but you will recall that the United States government and the Israeli government have been raining precision strikes on Iran, and that particular strike have not been going down well with the Muslim world. And this man, Sheikh Sani Issa Kano, is a Muslim cleric in the northern part of Nigeria, and he has some strong words for the US President Donald Trump. He is not the only one that have been threatening Trump, but the difference between him and others is that he was explicit in his threat against the US President Donald Trump. Now so they start to, when they do it to US, nobody see them, but when US decide to react, everybody go they cry foul. Now so they start to, that one where you see for Iran, now like this it start. Some of the people were saying death to America, death to America. Now this man is literally repeating the same thing, even in a worst dimension. So you can see that this man is biting more than what he can chew. What did he say against the US President Donald Trump? I will read it to you. It says that those saying that now if a Christian insults the prophet, that is Prophet Muhammad, and is killed, let me stop there first. First, from what this man wrote, he's a radical Islamic preacher. Again, his name is Sheikh Sani Issa Kano. Now, he says those saying that now if a Christian insult the prophet and is killed, so this man is literally certifying killing, and his own threshold is that if you dare to insult the prophet, that is what he said, that he is sanctioning killing. It's just like somebody coming out and say, oh, like justifying kidnapping, justifying banditry. And don't forget that killing is even worse. Now I read, it continues, he said Trump is there to intervene. That is, if any Christian is killed for insulting the prophet, Trump is there to intervene. I want you to know, by Allah, even if it is Donald J. Trump who insults the prophet and we catch him, by Allah, even if it is Donald J. Trump who insults the prophet and we catch him, By Allah, we will pin him down and slaughter him. Imagine, you are speaking about the US president that you will pin him down and you go do wetin, you go cut him throat comot. You see, I pity Nigerians. Some people, they will just think that you can say something just for the fun of saying it, or because you want to please a small amount of people, maybe your listeners or your followers in the mosque, then you will be saying something that can put you and your unborn generation in problem. You will recall that that was how a man that was living in far away River State, Obiako, the local government of Nyesom Wike, but there have been no established connection of the man with Nyesom Wike. That was how, when Peter Obi was attacked in Edo State, he went to social media and he wished Mr. Peter Obi death, and he said that, oh, they learned Obi is coming to River State and that is where his boys will finish the matter. This man may not be connected to the actual perpetrators of the attackers of Mr. Peter Obi, but look at how mouth put him in trouble. And if there's one thing that Nigerians are known for, it is how to run their mouth carelessly. If there's one thing that Nigerians need to know how to do, is when to close their mouth or the limitation of their orations. Now this man is saying that if Trump dares to intervene, but let me say this first before I go back to his statement, I am not in support of disrespecting the leader of another person's religion. This is not about Prophet Muhammad. This is not about Jesus Christ. This is not about Ogun, Egbesu spirit in the Niger Delta, Amadio in the east. This is not about any leader of any religion or any symbol of any religion. This is about mutual respect. So don't mistake it that I am in support of you disrespecting the icon or the idol of any religion. But at the same time, the 5 fingers that you have tell something. The 5 fingers in your hands tells a story that if the fingers in your hands are not equal, then don't expect that everybody will be like you. Don't expect that everybody will reason the same way. If your fingers are not in the same length, why do you expect that everybody will be a Muslim? That itself, holds no water. And another thing is that, let us now look at it. Let's move from the individual to the national. That is Nigeria and the United States. Before we come back to this Sheikh Sani Issa Kano, you see, this man, there's something which is that, why fight someone that Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot defend you from? Is it wise? Let me give you an analogy. You are a child. As a child, the person that you will look up to when you are in trouble is your parent, maybe your father or your mother or both of them. So when you want to go and look for trouble, you will think that, oh, daddy or mommy should be able to support you. But in this instance, you know that this person that you are going to look for is trouble. Your dad, your mom cannot defend you. Your dad, your mom cannot say pin. At the end of the day, you now went to look for the trouble of that person. The big question is, who will defend you? If anything happens or is to happen to you, the person that can defend you is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself is being disciplined in court by the US government, headed by the person that you are abusing, Donald Trump. So why you not give yourself sense? Because person will defend you, person will fight for you, person will talk on your behalf, person will go all out for you. If he himself hear the name of Donald Trump, fear they catch him, And in that kind of instance, why are you now going to look for a trouble when you know that there will be nobody to defend you? Because at the end of the day, what you go here, what you go end your matter. Now, the usual word of the US President Donald Trump, which is thank you for your attention on this matter. And at the end of the day, if Donald Trump makes that statement that thank you for your attention on this matter, that is that if the US, if they locate you and they do anything to you, maybe they execute you or something, saying that you are posing as a threat to the life of the US President Donald Trump, nothing will happen. At the end of the US President will just, come out on social media and say that, oh, some threats to the life of the US President have been identified, and the US Air Force or the US Army have dealt with the matter, and that is the end of it. Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot do anything. The Nigerian government cannot issue a counter statement. Nobody can fight for you except if the Allah that you are defending, maybe the Allah will now be the one to fight for you. And I will come back to the difference between the Christian religion and the Islamic religion in terms of how they place their God and the kind of like demand that they make from their God. I will come back to that in a moment. But first, let me still dwell on the Nigerian government, which is that this kind of statement, the big question you may want to ask yourself is, how did Nigerian government react to threats like this? Because the DSS cannot feign ignorance. The DSS, the police cannot feign ignorance. I heard that some of these security agencies, they now have social media department that they monitor everything that is trending on social media. If that is the case, then would the DSS tell me that they haven't seen the post of this man? Because when the US want to take any action, the first thing is that they will look at the reaction of the Nigerian government. When this happened, what was the reaction of the Nigerian government? What did they say? What did they do? Was there any attempt to stop this kind of people? Because this Sheikh Sani Isan Kanu is not the only one that have issued derogatory remarks against the US President Donald Trump. Just that his own is explicit, direct, and very, very uncalled to the US president. And you will recall that recently they lined up, school children in the north. They were stamping on the US flag, they were stamping on the Israeli flag, and they were chanting "Death to America, death to America." Now, death to America, is still something that, if you look at it, you are talking to a country, and that particular country that you are talking to, it has power more than your country. But in this instance, it is directed to a person, an individual, a personality. So even Trump can decide to take action against you independently as a person based on the threat to his life. Showore no do reach this one. No. Showore call Bola Ahmed Tinubu a criminal, and the DSS have filed charges against him in court. So look at it from that analogy. If the DSS can file action against Omoyele Sowore for calling Tinubu a criminal, now look at this man that is saying that, if they catch Donald Trump, they will kill him. And the reason why I made that analogy is that some people can be clever by half. Some people brain the reason that they justify anything and everything. So far it is nonsense. So far it is illogical. Some people will have a reason. Some people will have a way to justify it. Now, how did the Nigerian government react to this threat? As at now, I've not heard that any arrest or any caution have been issued to this man by the Nigerian government. But if the US government is going to take any action, should I tell you what will determine their action about how they will exonerate Nigerian government or not? They will look at how Nigerian government react when people protest against the government. They will put it side by side. You can see now how the Nigerian government reacted when they posed a threat to the US president, which almost nothing is done. But they will not look at what you did to Sowore. They will look at what you have done when people protest against the government. They will go back to the NSAS protest of year 2020. They will look at some protests that have been done, particularly in the life of the APC government and in specific the Tinubu government. They will look at your reaction to the president as a person and to the government. If your reaction contradicts your reaction to that of the US government, do you know what the US will label you? They will label you a complicit in, or you are an accomplice, or you are accommodating the denigration of the United States and the person of the US president. The US president, as of today, is one of the most powerful men in the whole universe. So for you, a cleric that is just in maybe Kano State, because his name is Sheikh Sani Isan Kanu. So for you to now be in the north and you are speaking to your congregation just because you want to feel fly, to now be threatening the president of the United States in an explicit, uncouth manner, then you need to be careful. Another thing that comes to mind is that why is our northern brothers, particularly of the Muslim fold, particularly the Islamic leaders, some of them, not all of them, why do they always preach things that emboldens violence? Why are they always eager to kill? Can God defend himself? Can you defend God? Must you defend God? God is powerful than you. He has everything than you. Why can't you allow God to defend himself? Person will get power is still a very kind. If Allah with the power that the Muslim believes that he has, if he has such a power, then he can do anything and everything. But if Allah himself, if is applying restraint when people abuse him, if Allah himself is not taking action against such people by killing them or by murdering them, which can be your own. They abuse you, no be Allah they abuse, and you believe that if everybody dies, Allah will be the one that will do the judgment. Why not leave that person and Allah, so that when that person died, Allah can do the judgment of that person? Why must you be the one that is fighting and defending Allah? Why are some of our northern brothers, why are they always eager to kill? And that has led us to what we are facing today as a country. And that brings me to the difference between the Christian faith and the Muslim faith, based on my personal observation. You see, in Christianity believe that the Christian God should fight for them. That is why if you do anything to a Christian, they'll say, oh, I leave you to God. If you do something to a Christian, I'm talking of a devoted Christian, oh, not all these, fake Christians everywhere that use the name of God to lie. A devoted Christian will say, oh, I leave you to God. Even the Bible says, if they slap you from the left, you should turn the right, they should slap it again. The Bible also says that, forgive those who have sinned against you. And at the end of the day, the Christian God believe that that the Christians believe that God should fight for them. While I stand to be corrected, for the Muslim faithfuls, it seems that Muslims believe that they should fight for their God, and that itself, as I explained earlier, leaves a lot to be desired from our Muslim brethren. And that takes me to, in 2012, I met a man. I've spoken about it during one of my live sessions. I met a man that did a comparative analysis of religious tolerance between Nigeria and Malaysia, and he did his thesis in the early 1980s or late 1970s, Ghazali. When I met him in Malaysia that year, the man told me he's a Muslim. Don't forget that even Malaysia is more of an Islamic country, because Muslims are the majority of the population in that country. They have Hindus, which are the Indians. They have Buddhists, which are the Chinese. But when I met the man told me that he discovered, as a part of his research findings and conclusion, is that Muslims need to be more tolerant. I'm speaking of a research that have been done years ago, and I met the man personally in his country, in Malaysia. He's one of the old professors in that country and a reputable scholar, a Muslim man at that. And that particular research, I'm talking of a scientific research now, speaks volume. And that has led us, that intolerance has led us to some of the things that we are facing today as regards insecurity that we are facing in the country. I just hope that the US will be gracious enough to forgive Sheikh Sani Isankano, else his case is rest in peace in advance. I look forward to reading from you in the comment section. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Oshua Plug, Dr. Ogmosholadeji. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.
Oh yes, this man has said it all. The issue, these northern Muslim, they are having, they are arrogant. They are very, very arrogant. Sometimes they used to talk believing that nothing will happen to them. If they die for their God, and they are going to heaven to make heaven and to have a lot of things due to they die because of their God. And they don't know it is not done that way. And they are ready to buy anybody, to unalive anybody that speak against or that speak about their God that is not okay to their ear. Just like what Donald Trump is trying to do to the world, at least what is happening in Iran, trying to remove all those bad ones out of the way so that let people breathe. But them, they are seeing it as an evil man. That how come will a man that did not know God, infidel, will be fighting against them? That God have given them power to do whatever they want to do on earth. I don't know how the reason. That is why you see the country Nigeria is not moving, because the brain that the brain that those people use, their thinking is far back, like in those stone age, where people did not know anything. If you see one another, you kill and you walk on. That is how they used to think about. They think like people that don't reason at all. The only people they know is within their self. And once you call of Allah and you misplace Allah and call another thing, you will stone to death. Now you are now threatening the world power president Donald Trump, saying that you are going to buy him, you are going to kill him if eventually he speak against your God Allah. You are going to buy him. It's very, very touching, because had it been that Nigeria is a country that understand the consequences this man is saying, by now they would have arrested him. But because of the government, they don't scare. And he talk about against Tinubu, say that he will kill the president of Nigeria. And by now they would have been looking for him. But now look at this one, they will not do. And again, he's from the north. He's from the Islam. So they are afraid that they don't know what they will do, and other of their member will now attack them, or will not give them power to lead again, because all their mind and all their belief that they want to make sure that they get power by all means. That is why you see all those evil things happening. The government will not speak. The government will not talk against it, because what they want is just power. That is all. Well, I would like you to watch the issue, decide where they are still claiming this their Sharia or no Sharia, and the main reason why this man is saying this, is saying what he's saying. Just listen to them, to the Northern Elder, where they are claiming that their Sharia is their life and their everything, that nothing Donald Trump can do about it.
Therefore, on behalf of all the 40 Islamic organizations that form the Zamfara State Muslims League, we hereby state the following. 1. We in Zamfara State are more than 99% Muslims. We were the first to implement the Sharia system in 1999. We want all and sundry to know that we are comfortable with the system, and we will never allow it to be tampered with. 2. The request of Dr. Obadere is not based on any expertise, but on biasness and Islamophobia. 3. The U.S. has no business meddling in the international affairs of our country, or act as a custodian of a certain religion, or start a new crusade against Islam, with Nigeria as its first victim. 4. We emphatically affirm that Muslims in Nigeria will not stand by and look while a foreign power dismantles the Sharia system just to make some anti-Islamic Christians happy. We know that America has been sponsoring Zionist terrorism in Palestine and the genocide of Muslims. We are also ready to pay the price the Palestinians are paying if America should decide to come to Nigeria to dismantle Sharia. 5. We are calling on President Bola Tinubu to treat carefully. He should remember that he rose to power on the goodwill of Sharia-loving Muslim population of this country. 6. We also call on Muslim representatives in the Senate and the House of Representatives never to allow themselves to be used for the achievement of crooked objectives detrimental to the interests of those they represent. 7. We call on our governors and members of the respective houses of assemblies not to relent or give in on this matter. They must stand firm and ensure our freedoms in a sovereign Nigeria. We are also using this medium to appeal to our northern governors, especially the Sharia compliance states, to intensify efforts in protecting, safeguarding, and promoting the Sharia legal system in their respective states. 8. It is time for our traditional rulers to stand up and talk. The labor of our leaders past shall never be in vain. 9. Our ulama and imams must stand up and talk. Imams must convey our message of resistance on all pulpits. Sharia implementation is our religious right, which we are entitled to. We will never accept intervention on how to practice our religion from any quarter. 10. Finally, we call on all Muslims in Nigeria to be ready to defend our religion and the Sharia system, whatever it takes.
Now, that was the position of the 40 Islamic organizations that made up the Muslim League in Zamfara State, that constituted the Zamfara State Muslim League. That was their position on American demand that the federal government of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should ensure the repeal of the Sharia law and blasphemy laws in Nigeria. Now, why was that decision taken by the Americans? The Americans believe strongly that the root cause of insecurity in Nigeria is the Sharia law and the blasphemy law. That if it's removed or repealed in the 12 northern states that are practicing it, it will go a long way in reducing insecurity in the country. And if you look at it critically, all those states that are practicing Sharia, over 90% of those states are at the epicenter of the ongoing insecurity in Nigeria. So the Americans are saying repeal that law. But the league, the Muslim League in Zamfara State, who are also standing on the ground that Sharia's implementation, Sharia laws implementation or adoption started from Zamfara State. Okay, they are speaking on behalf of all the other Muslims, being the first state to carry out that implementation of Sharia law. Now, that their position has been strengthened now by the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, when they came out saying that there is no power that can stop the implementation of Sharia in Nigeria. And their position is the same, in line with the position of the Zamfara Muslim League. Okay, but we are going to show you what the Middle Belt has also identified and agreed with the Americans, that the introduction of the Sharia legal system is at the root of insecurity in the North. And they have even gone to say that if the Muslims who want to implement Sharia insist on going ahead with it and want to impose it on non-Muslims, because Middle Belt Forum is saying that already they are imposing it on non-Muslims. So if they cannot agree to abandon it and use the penal code as was in the constitution during the time of Samad Bello, the premier of Eastern region, that it is better they part ways. That is his view. You are going to hear him analyze this matter. Okay, but before we get to the video clip where he will talk, and you will learn a lot from him on this issue, let us look at the position of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, who are doubling down, saying that no power can stop Muslims from practicing Sharia, reminding the American lawmakers that they will not bow to their pressure. You know that the American lawmakers have submitted a report to President Donald Trump on Christian persecution, Christian genocide in Nigeria, and one of their recommendations was for the repeal of the Sharia law and blasphemy laws in Nigeria. Okay? And that was also contained in the bill, the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act 2026. That same demand was contained in that bill right now in the United States Congress. So there is a bill in the United States Congress demanding the repeal of Sharia. There is a recommendation at the White House which has been submitted to President Donald Trump that Nigeria must repeal the Sharia legal system, Sharia law, and the blasphemy law. If the insecurity in Nigeria could be nipped in the bud, that would be part of the things that Nigeria must do. It's like the bucket list. It's part of the bucket list that has been recommended by the US Congress for President Trump to push for in order to stop Christian genocide and Christian persecution in Nigeria. Now, the Supreme Council for Sharia has come out following the report that was submitted to President Trump recommending the repeal of the Sharia law. They have come out to say that no power or authority can make Muslims relinquish the practice of Sharia. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, Nafiu Baba Ahmed, he said this in response to the report that the United States Congress Committee submitted to President Donald Trump. And that went on to say that the report had highlighted Sharia and blasphemy laws as major problems. Now, part of the recommendation which we talk about included repealing Sharia and blasphemy laws, establishing a US-Nigeria Security Pact, and imposing penalties or visa ban on perpetrators.
That is it. You know, those people that so much believe that nothing any human being can do to them, as long as they call their Allah, nothing else you can do. They so much believe that their Sharia is their everything, their Sharia is their life and death. And then the worst part of it is that not that they practice that Sharia within themselves, they use it against others that is not even Muslim. They use it against others that do not even know what they are doing. Then once you speak or once you do anything contrary to their Sharia or to their Muslim law, they will couch you and they claim that you have offended their God. So all those type of people, we don't really understand the type of human being they are. Now, if you come down the constitution of the country, almost everything that is in the constitution is being written through Sharia. I hope that everybody has been seeing the video we have been posting back to back, and then also the interview, the Mopogu, the Middle Belt chairman, the interview he gave this week. So where he explained everything that is in the constitution and why these terrorists, they keep ravaging everywhere, every part of Nigeria, keep destroying things because of the belief that everything they are doing, they have the right to do it, and they are lying on that Sharia to do every evil they are doing, and they want to even to expand it into other parts of Nigeria. That is why they want to take over and they want to Islamize every state of this country. Not only the core north, not only the 9 states of the north, they want to Islamize, but this time they want to even to spread it all over. If you see what is happening in the Kwara, every day they are dragging, fighting, and they slaughtering and they buying people everywhere in the name of their Sharia or no Sharia. Come down to the Middle Belt, the same thing. So in fact, everywhere in Nigeria now is burning because of there's so much belief that their God have given them power to take over and to do whatever they want to do. And then later the government will tell you that they don't know what is happening. They know everything, just that they don't want to speak and they don't want to talk to the people who don't have the power. Well, I would like to comment that before you think about the whole thing happening in Nigeria. Like, subscribe, and make sure you share it. Let everyone see what is going on. We say thank you for watching.